Hey, welcome back to the channel, fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype here on your Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest weather headlines here for your Tuesday, as we're going to be tracking some severe weather across areas of the Great Lakes for today. Only a slight risk, but it's there. It's, again, the same system that impacted the areas of the high plains yesterday begins to move off toward the east. Finally, talking about something out in the tropics to see if something's brewing out there. We'll look at the latest from the National Hurricane Center there. And we're going to talk about some heat relief. Yeah, some heat relief finally coming as we head toward your Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer. Coming up this weekend, we'll take a look, see how those temperatures are looking across the nation. Now, before we get into this report, and if you'd like to make this a regular feature in your YouTube feed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content, and please share with your friends, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate your support to help grow the channel. Again, this is about helping you guys out, help you plan your day here in the YouTube universe. All right, let's take a look at the current satellite imagery here. As you look at the picture here, you looked in these big cloud tops here with showers and storms across areas of Minnesota, crossing into Wisconsin. Otherwise, most of the nation not looking all that bad right now. Again, some rains here across Michigan right now, but otherwise looking fairly quiet. We've got high pressure here across the east here. We're kind of lining things up right here. Frontal boundary, again, cooler behind the front in the 50s, but we're in the 70s out ahead of it. Those clash of the air masses, that's what's going to set up the severe weather risk here, especially going into, looks like tonight, across areas of Wisconsin and going down toward Michigan, as that frontal system pumps into that very warm, juicy air. See a little bit of that rain shower activity associated with a little weak upper level disturbance here across Texas for this morning and some rains across Washington State, but otherwise not looking too bad to begin your day for this morning. The big story, though, the heat, boy, you're looking at colors like this, you're talking about 105 to 110 feel-like temperatures here across Illinois. I saw one in Iowa yesterday. How about 117? That's like Middle East hot there. I mean, brutal temperatures there. Some heat advisories also getting into Pennsylvania and into New Jersey for this later this afternoon. But also you can expect some probably severe thunderstorm watches coming up here later today across Michigan, especially as that frontal boundary moves off toward the east. So we do have some hefty thunderstorms. We had a few warnings earlier, but they've settled on down. Nice little line of storms. These moved through the Minneapolis area earlier, but this continues to move off to the east. You expect some gusty winds here across portions of Wisconsin here for this morning. Get over toward Hayward, Ladysmith, Chippewa Falls already got their little downpour here for this morning. These continue to move off to the east, about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now, our weather camera of the day, getting a little rain out here, looks like right now, into Detroit, Michigan. And it's going to be brutally hot here as well, as we're going to be looking at temperatures here in the low 90s, partly cloudy, scattered showers and thunderstorms. And again, you're going to have to watch out for the potential for some active severe weather going into late today and into tonight. Now, if you would like to highlight your city as the weather city of the day, and you got a great webcam, please just take the link and share it in the comment section down below, and I will consider it for a potential future use in a future broadcast. All right, let's go ahead and talk about that severe weather risk. We're going to take a look at your day one outlook here from the Storms Prediction Center. And again, you can kind of see your eyes being drawn to that area there in yellow. That's where we're going to be looking at the potential for severe weather. So we're talking about right along the Great Lakes of the Ohio River, Ohio, right there, northern Ohio, Michigan, Indiana. So we're watching right up in here for today for that potential for severe weather. The main threat's going to be strong gusty winds. The tornado threat's pretty low, about 2%, but generally we're talking about a wind threat. So in that yellow, it's about a 15% chance of seeing some high winds. Also, some hail looks identical, obviously, for those 2 days. Now, as we look at your day two outlook going into Wednesday, that's going to shift off toward the east. So we're going to be talking about those areas there going into the northeast, getting in on the action. We'll have another system coming down here. It'll set off some severe weather for portions of the Dakotas, North and South Dakota. We'll see a chance for that as well for your day two outlook. And as far as the day three outlooks, looks like things will settle down a little bit. Just a couple of pockets to watch there. Only a margin risk for severe weather there, kind of getting down toward Virginia and the Carolinas right through here. And again, right through the middle of the country with that frontal system that's going to be bringing some relief with cooler temperatures there from Minnesota, stretching back toward Kansas. That'll be our concern going into your day three. So that'll be going into your Thursday. So again, general thunderstorm, that's that light green color for a lot of the country. And areas in the southeast definitely could use the rain. So that's some good news there as far as precipitation is concerned. Again, the main concern for today, though, the main cities, we're talking about Chicago, Grand Rapids, we're talking about Detroit, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Green Bay. These are the areas there to watch for severe weather. So if you're in those locations, plan accordingly. Make sure you got a weather app. Get an app on your phone and stay up on the latest on that, and pay attention to any advisories and any warnings issued by your local National Weather Service guys. They are our eyes and ears for severe weather, and we do appreciate the work they do for us. All right, let's talk about the tropics, all right? We're talking about, finally, a 20% chance of seeing something developing out in the middle of the Atlantic. Right now, the European model is not showing a whole lot, and I'll show you that here in a second. But right now, a 20% chance of seeing something developing as we take a look at the latest satellite imagery here. Again, we're talking about this area right here. Does not look all that impressive right now. We'll see if it has anything developed. It's still not been a very conducive environment out in the Atlantic. Saharan dust has been a bit of a problem. Just the overall environment has not been that good. Now, as it shifts further away from the dust source or anything else that's been bothering it, it may get a better chance of development. But right now, not seeing a whole lot of development currently. Again, only a 20% chance over the next 7 days. Now, this was the zone that the Global Tropics Hazard Outlook was calling for development August 28th, which is tomorrow, through September 3rd. This will be updated later today, so it'll be interesting to see how it changes as we go deeper into the month of September, which climatologically is where the peak of the hurricane season. And the hurricane feeds off the warm waters of the Atlantic and in the Gulf of Mexico, which is like bath water. We're talking 87-degree temperature, 31 degrees Celsius is 87.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So very warm Gulf of Mexico water. So if that wave does make its way into the Gulf, for example, it's going to have plenty of fuel to definitely feed off of. Now, the zone where it's developing, right where you would expect for the month of September. And the month of September, my forecast right now calling for 6 to 8 named storms. I've seen them higher, but I'm staying 6 to 8. And the reason for that is just that we've had so many odd things happen this year. And I'm just going to kind of stay with the climatology and keep it 6 to 8 for the month of September. We'll see how that works out for us. Now, the next named storm will be Francine. And we're running behind last year. Last year at this time, we were already up to the ice storm. So we've got to get things moving if we're ever going to hit that forecast originally. That I know the Colorado State did back it off a couple of names, but it's definitely not gone by what the experts were thinking when we started the season. But we still got plenty of season ahead. We'll see how September works out as we get ready to change that calendar here very shortly. Let's look at the European model here again. The European model is not showing much development out here, okay? Still not showing anything, even with that tropical wave out there. And this is the latest overnight run. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is we continue to have these troughs moving off the eastern seaboard. Why is that important? Well, when you get these troughs to move off the eastern seaboard, what typically happens is you'll get something that'll get drawn to the north and curve back out around that area of high pressure. So you've got the high pressure sitting over here. There's our big high. And it's going to find that path of least. You see it's picking up something up here going towards Sunday. That could be that disturbance getting pulled up that direction going to the north. I think it may follow a similar path to Ernesto just because we continue to see that weakness off the eastern seaboard. So we'll see if that holds true. But as long as these troughs continue to be in place, it'll act as a bit of a force field, a little bit of a deflector to at least protect the eastern seaboard. Can't say so much about the Gulf of Mexico because if it traps to the Caribbean, it may get pulled into the Gulf of Mexico and become a problem there. But for right now, the European model is not showing too much in the way of development. We'll see if that changes here in the days ahead. All right, let's go ahead and switch on over to the continental United States as we're going to be tracking, again, some weather across the Great Lakes. And that'll be what's coming in overnight here going into tomorrow morning. So we're still seeing some cluster storms here through the overnight hours. So late tomorrow and into tomorrow morning, watch out this zone in here. That's that area for that slight risk for severe weather. Strong gusty winds and hail will be your main threats for those storms as they move on through. So that'll be that round that we're watching right there. And that'll shift into New England going in throughout the day on your Wednesday. All right, so as we go ahead and watch that timestamp again, as we go ahead and take this through, that'll move into New England a little bit, seeing some of the storms there going into your Wednesday. We'll see how it flares up a little bit. Doesn't look all that impressive on the European, but we are going to turn our attention to our next storm system going on Thursday. We're looking at some storms here across portions of Minnesota, stretching back toward Nebraska and Iowa. It's behind this front that we're finally going to see some relief in the form of some cooler temperatures finally arriving in the area. That'll be very well received, very nice to see, as we'll see that frontal system not make its way into the south, unfortunately. It's going to clear the Midwest. It's going to clear the New England area. But the southeast, you're not going to get too much here, folks. In fact, I think this is probably going to stall. We are going to finally start tapping some Gulf of Mexico moisture, I think. So your daytime air mass thunderstorms will at least become a little more prevalent as you go into Sunday and Monday for Labor Day weekend. So anywhere from the Carolinas stretching back over to Texas, you're probably going to see increased risk of afternoon thunderstorms. And obviously with the summertime heat, which is going to be plenty hot, you always got to watch out for that isolated severe threat, but nothing organized at that point as that moves on in. So again, as we take this on through here, and it looks like that's just going to hold up there. Looks like a little piece of energy kind of comes into maybe North Alabama and into Tennessee. This is going into your Tuesday. We'll have to see if this sits up in the active weather in that zone going into next week. But looks like we'll see this thing just kind of sit there. And looks like as that moves on off the eastern seaboard, most of the country going toward next week. So we're looking at next Thursday. Pretty quiet. You're going to be looking at a frontal boundary down here in place, and most of the nation looking pretty quiet. And it's going to be pretty dry up in this area as well. So looks like some drier conditions, kind of unsettled across the southeast, but at least we're going to beat the heat back. That's the big story, because the heat has been really bad here for the last few days, and that's going to slowly but surely change. We'll go ahead and switch on over here to the European forecast highs here. We're looking at the heat index. So I wanted to do the heat index. It's your temperature and humidity, because it's what it feels like to your body. That's what matters the most, right? So you're looking at your highs here today. And I mean, we're looking at 104 here this afternoon. Let me back this up, I'm sorry. 107, 106, 102. So these areas in here between 105 and 110 across Illinois. Thus the excessive heat warning here for today. But what we're going to do, and I want to show you this, is that this big swath, as you're seeing here in the whites, that's temperatures well into the 90s and hundreds, is going to be getting beat back. We're going to finally see some cooler weather move on in. So let's go ahead and take this in by day. So this is your Tuesday. Let's go ahead and take it into Wednesday. We'll take it into Wednesday afternoon. Again, a lot of the country still seeing temperatures in across the hundreds here. So you're talking about 98 there into portions of Kentucky, 98 into Tennessee. Here's 100 degrees right near Texas here, 94 degrees into Kansas. So a lot of heat still there. We're going to wait for some cool air, and we're going to start seeing it on Thursday. Watch as I go into Thursday here. We start moving a cold front here as we go through Thursday morning. You can see it really easily on the morning temperatures here. Here comes our frontal system. We're going to tap some of this cool air. It's going to come on in, and it's going to sweep this direction, okay? You folks here in the deep south, sorry, you're not going to get a big break on this, at least not initially, the way things are looking currently. So as we go ahead and step you through this again, still pretty hot here, obviously, on your Thursday. Look at those temperatures, 102, 101, very hot here across the southeast, 100 degrees near Memphis. Very, very hot. Still hot here in Illinois. I know y'all are tired of it. 98 will feel better than 107, but still very hot there on your Thursday. And as we continue to go forward again, going into your Friday afternoon, we'll see things start to shrink back. I mean, look at this. This is 77, 82, 85. Okay, a little more reasonable. I can deal with that as we go into the weekend. And it looks like this will clear into the northeast as we go throughout the day on Saturday. We'll bring it to your Saturday afternoon. Again, it'll be the southeast. Still looking brutal down here. Very hot into the 100s here across the deep south. But the Midwest, 80s, this looks better. The northeast, still in the 70s up here. We are going to beat back the heat a little bit. Looks like it's going to be predominantly going to be the southeast and the southwest that'll be dealing with that extreme heat temperatures here for Saturday. And we'll go ahead and take you through the weekend. We got the Labor Day weekend, obviously. And let's go check out Labor Day. We'll check out Labor Day's afternoon area. So again, Labor Day, it's going to be hot in the southeast, that's for sure. Plenty hot down here. Feeling like triple digits heats down here in the southeast. But as far as areas there into the plains, I mean, you're talking 74, 79 there in Iowa, 84 into northern Illinois, in the 70s for the northeast. But again, it's going to be the southeast as well as the southwest that'll be baking for your Labor Day forecast. So we got the cooler weather on this way, and the Climate Prediction Center has new outlook here, kind of reflecting this as we're seeing that cooler temperatures expected across the Great Lakes. Still warmer across the southeast. So we're talking about September 1st to the 5th. Big warm up out here in the west. They're seeing the cooler temperatures now, but in the next 6 to 10 days, it's going to reverse and we'll see above normal temperatures out here. This cool air will shift into the northeast as we look at September 3rd through the 9th. Still above normal there line along the Gulf Coast. Still very warm out in the west as we head from September 3rd through the 9th. Precipitation-wise, staying active here across the south. Above normal precipitation there into Texas. Below normal across the Great Lakes, thanks to that cool air kind of coming in, cool, dry air out of Canada and across the southwest. And looks like the below normal precipitation will remain across the Great Lakes in the northeast. Above normal here across the south as that frontal system kind of stalls, and we'll see showers and storms, like a little wave of energy coming that way, and here across the northwest as well. But looks like most of the country will see temperature or precipitation pretty close to normal for this time of year. So we do have some active weather we're going to watch here for today, obviously for the Great Lakes. And the news story, again, recapping, is the fact it's going to be brutally hot for most of this week. Going into this weekend, we are going to get some relief for Labor Day weekend for a big part of the country. Unfortunately, folks in the southeast, you're going to continue to bake under those oppressive heat temperatures. The combination of the air temperature and the humidity is going to be quite warm. Probably going to see those heat advisories continue for the southeast as we head toward Labor Day weekend. Now, if you would like to make this as part of your regular YouTube feed, I invite you to please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're alerted. I update these every morning, and you have this ready for you every morning. You can glance through it real quick, get an update on your forecast for your part of the country. And as always, I always like to have some feedback. If you have something you'd like to see as part of this report, please leave a comment down below. I do appreciate you guys' feedback. All right, that's your update for now. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next report. Till then, bye-bye for now.